All right, this is probably going to be my last tomato review for today. I'm literally getting full of tomatoes, and I've had about my fill for today of tomatoes. Been eating a lot of tomatoes today, guys. This is the Belmonte tomato. Now, this isn't the best example of this tomato. I have seen much better examples of this tomato, images of it. So you're going to have to grow a few of them to get the true shape of this tomato. But if you look very closely, I don't know if you can see it or how well you can see it, it almost has the look of a pumpkin. Okay? But that's not the true shape of this tomato, as you can see on here. All right, I'm trying to give you the light, the different angles, so you can see the striping in there. It's not striping, but like the grooves, the lines. This tomato likes to pear off. It likes to make the shape of a pear, but with these very prominent grooves that form in the tomato that make it look like a pumpkin. So it's a very beautiful looking tomato. I don't know the exact name of that shaped tomato. It's not necessarily a pear tomato. It would be more like a gazette or type tomato, or some people refer to them as ugly tomato. But this ain't quite those shapes. This shape has a pear shape with these grooves in it, and this one's more round, obviously. And it's probably, if you can get enough of them off your vine, you'll probably start to get that classic pear shape to it with the grooves in it. It's really ultimately the shape that you want to go for. I'm still going to save seeds to this because it's still a beautiful tomato, and this plant didn't produce enough. It didn't produce enough tomatoes for me to really just start discarding seeds. I got to take whatever I can get this year, and normally I'm very selective on shape and style of tomato. And as long as that tomato carries that characteristic that I like, I will save it. Tomatoes like this usually just end up in the salad or end up in the compost bin. If I don't get to it, they rot, and I'm not going to save seeds to it, and you know. So again, that's the Belmonte tomato. Let's give her a cut in half. Oh, nice and firm, guys. That wasn't too ripe, but nice and firm. Oh, look at that. Look at the inside of that. Let's get you in here. So, it's a pink inside. It's very nice. I'm sure if you let it sit for a while, this will ripen up fully. I do notice that there is a lot of hollowing around the edges of the tomato. Again, I told you I don't personally like that. I don't care for that in a tomato. I like my seeds, but that could just be because the plant itself suffered really bad. This could just be a bad example of the tomato and its full potential, but as of right now in this video, we do have a lot of hollowing in there, and I don't care for that. You will see in a rind there is some wild, that green spotting wildness you see in the rind. That's a very good sign. That's a nice sign of a good heirloom, as opposed to a commercial grade seed. You can see the chambers there's multiple chambers around the tomato. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that, somewhere in that range. So you could probably get about 10 chambers like that in this tomato, and it's very individual. It's not like all over the place. There's tomatoes where them seed cores are everywhere. All right, so this is very distinctive that they're on the outside of that core. All right, so let's do a taste test. Let me squeeze out some seeds. I squeezed out most of the seeds, okay, just like a lemon. And let's give her a bite. Right off the bat, I got hit with a mouthful of sweetness, and then the aftertaste, as you're done with your chewing it and swallowing it, you got a nice tangy flavor, nice punch of tang to it. This is a very well balanced tomato, guys. Usually, when I get tomatoes that are kind of like pink like that in the middle, I start to get scared because that starts to remind me of like commercial grade tomatoes, that bland nothingness to it. Nah, this one is loaded with flavor, and this thing is not fully ripened either. I believe I could have let this sit out for a couple more days. Like if you're going to make a sauce with this, you're going to want this to sit out, like I told you in some of my other videos. Let it sit out until it's almost gushy and rotten. Then make your sauces with that, guys. That'll make you a really good, nice sauce. All right, let me take another bite. A very thick skin. If you're going to blanch this tomato, This is the kind of tomato where it's very thick skinned, so don't blanch it very long. Just boil the water till the water's boiling. Drop the tomato in for about 10, 15 seconds. Pull it back out. Put the tomatoes in a strainer, in a screen. Drop them in the water for about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then cut one and see if it peels very easily. Usually these kind of tomatoes with these really heavy skins on them, they peel instantly. You don't have to boil or cook the tomato all the way through if you don't want to. All right, let me finish this up. Guys, this is a wonderful tomato. What an even delicious flavor that this thing gives. This is the kind of a tomato you keep your little pocket knife in your pocket, and you keep a little bit of salt in the other pocket, and you just go into your tomato fields and just start cutting tomatoes and eat your tomatoes as you're working in the field, because this thing has a lot of water in it. It's got a lot of sugars in it, and it has that nice tangy desirable tomato aftertaste. This is a great snacking tomato. It great for salads, great for sauces, I would say. This is just a wonderful tomato, guys. I really, really like this Belmonte. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is an Old World tomato, and an Old World tomato from Italy. And Italy is known for breeding out their tomato varieties for specific characteristics, and there's a number of tomatoes, including the San Marzano, that they bred out in Italy to get those characteristics out in their tomatoes. So Italy is known for crossing tomatoes to get certain characteristics, and this, I think, is one of them. I could be wrong, don't hold me to that. Even though it's the name Belmonte, it could be under another name that they use to sell the same tomato over and over and over and over again. So this could be an offshoot of one of those tomatoes, but it does taste like an Old World tomato to me. This is a signature tomato, guys. This is definitely a signature type tomato. If you're thinking on tomatoes and you kind of heard what I described about it, and you're thinking maybe you might want to go into a new variety of tomato, this might be one you might want to consider. Like I said, it hits all those points. It hit the sweetness was good, the tart was good, the aftertaste is good. Nothing unpleasant about it in any way. No overtones or undertones. The texture in your mouth felt very juicy and consistent. No dryness or chalkiness. The skins are a little thick on it, so just keep that in mind if you have a problem with thick-skinned tomatoes. And it's just nothing unpleasant about it. The seeds were good in it. Everything is good on this, guys. This is a very, very good tomato. Wow. My first year growing this, too. Give it a go. See if you like it. All right? So this is the Belmonte tomato. Enjoy.